Hey guys, Carl from TDG here, going to go over 5 tips to help you accelerate your endgame progression in Last Epoch Season 2, Tombs of the Erased. Alright, so let's jump right into this. First off, we're going to talk about use of prophecies. Prophecies are something that I don't really think the game does a great job of directing you towards. They're going to be part of the Circle of Fortune guild, and something that's going to be able to be discovered towards the end of the campaign around Act 9. It's quite important to highlight these, as these can really help us to target farm some of the items that we're looking for. So for example, we'll run up here to the Arctis telescope. Okay, so you can see we have 5 different items here that we can go for. So if we focus here on the roads ahead, let's say we have a specific unique boot that we're trying to farm for our build. Just completing this condition, which is an arena tier 4, will actually drop us 5 pairs of unique boots. So the question might be, how does this help us? Well, if we're looking at some of the items we might be looking for, on my build I'm looking for the Advent of the Erased. The more times I can force the game to drop me a pair of unique boots, the more potential chances I have to get the specific pair of unique boots that I'm looking for. Thus, using these prophecies can really help drop or increase the drop chance of the items that we're looking for, just by forcing the actual base items that we're looking for. Alright, so secondly, we're going to talk about the Weaver Tree. To me, this falls into the same vein as the prophecies, where it's something the game doesn't totally highlight to you, but it's more something that you discover as you play the game more. As you start to drop woven echoes within your monoliths and inside of your echoes, more and more of these become available. And the more that you're completing your echo, can be found here, the more that you start to unlock these points. You can see here I still have a couple available to be used, and each one of those that we complete would give us more points. So how does this tree work? So you can see here there's some of these major nodes that have some imprintable items in them. Currently on the top we're going for my main hand weapon, my boots, and my gloves, and each one of these has a certain set of conditions that are important for us to meet. Up here this is going to be focused more on champions, and you can see I'm building into champions, chance to drop the weapon on champion kill, chance to drop the boots on an echo completion, some loot lizards for some extra fun, and the gloves are being found or have an increased chance to be found on opening a lost cache. And here we get a chance of dropping the sword when killing enemies in regular echoes. So each one of these you could look at as a build your own or create your own difficulty style, some extra spawn chances, some new rewards, some increased timeline stability, and like I said, it's more of a create your own, but this can be really important in helping us target farm the uniques that we're looking for in order to push our build to the next level. And third of all, we're going to talk about pushing corruption. This might seem self-explanatory, but I think it's something that's really important for everybody to keep in mind on how important this is. The first time you're going through your monolith system, you have to complete all 10 of these monoliths in order to unlock corruption. Corruption is going to scale the base corruption level past the base level 100. You can see up here we're at 178. Nothing too crazy right now, but we're still working to push that. And I think it's very important that we make sure that we're doing this. The higher that we scale our corruption, the higher we will scale the base enemy level past that level 100 that you're seeing when we go into this. And we will also be able to get better drops with that being said. The enemies get better rarity or better increased loot modifiers. With this, we'll get increased chances to drop legendaries, which inherently will give us more chances at higher legendary potential on our items. One way that we can really push this nice and fast, if we come over into the forge, we'll do this over here just for an example. We'll take this item and we will slap a glyph of envy on. We will do this over here, this T2 modifier to chance to slow with a glyph of envy. By clicking to upgrade this, you can see we added 155 stability to our timeline. So to double check that, we're at 408 right now, and we'll do this one more time. 408 plus that 191 takes us to 599, and you could see that just those 2 upgrades right there gave me almost 400 corruption towards my next boss battle on here to drop another Gaze of Orbis. Now I do recommend that we stack as many of these gazes up as possible. Each time that we fight the boss at the end of this, it can consume 4, so that will give us just a faster way of pushing more corruption at a faster pace. Alright, and fourth of all, we're going to talk about the importance of running our cemeteries and our tombs. So we want to make sure that we're running the cemeteries and tombs both within our monolith tree up here, these guys over here, and as well as running our cemeteries and tombs within our echoes itself. So the reason that these are important is because those of you who don't know, right here we can see that this echo specific reward is a unique or set pair of boots, and upon completion of this echo, we would be able to come over to these chests that would be located here, and then the reward section that's located here, and that would give us the drops that are located there. But upon completion of the echo and then the tomb or the cemetery, we have another chance at dropping these items as well. This can be really powerful in allowing us to target farm the items that we're looking for seen here. Especially when we use it combined with the Weaver Tree and prophecies as well, and we're using these things in combination. Alright guys, and last but not least, we have our keys, and we're going to be talking about our dungeons. This is going to include the Soulfire Bastion, the Lightless Arbor, as well as the Temporal Sanctum, as well as our arena keys here. So it's really important not to forget about these. These all have unique drops that can come from them. Specifically, the Soulfire Bastion is where I got my Immolator's Ablation from, and it's something that you're able to push the tiers higher. And if we have enough of these portal charms saved up, this is actually what they just added to the game that allows you to completely skip the entire dungeon and jump right to the end boss. So that's been really useful. Specifically, I ran a bunch of Soulfire Bastions, but it's also important to be able to remember the Temporal Sanctum has some really important pieces too, and this is what allows us to start using this legendary potential. They mentioned in the reveal trailer that at tier 2 or higher, we can specifically pick the affix that we are trying to move. So here we could see, we can find one here that is good to look at. We'll just look at this Exalted here, the plus 86 chance to shotgun hit. And if I wanted to move that over to a weapon per se with a legendary potential, I would be able to select that modifier and directly move it over without any questions being asked and without any risk. That is, again, really powerful, and you can see how stacking more and more of these items with more and more legendary potential, or getting higher and higher chances of them having legendary potential, can become more and more valuable for us as we move later and later into the game. So it really becomes a matter of how many of these items can we get. If we look over here, nothing too special, but I have a whole bunch of these sets of boots here. We have, I come over, you know, another one of these swords here, another one of it here. We have a 2 legendary potential there, some others that are sitting in here. So you can see that we're really able to target farm some of the items that we're looking for to give us the best possible way of combining these items at the end of the day. Alright guys, so in review, some of the key things that we want to make sure that we're pushing as we get into the early stages of Endgame of Last Epoch are going to be prophecies. So prophecies are going to be allowing us to meet certain criteria and certain conditions to help us drop more items, whether that be bases, boots, gloves, body armors, etc., etc. And this will help us directly pair with the Weaver Tree. As we look into the Weaver Tree, we'll be able to see that the more that we build out our Weaver Tree to the specific encounters that we're looking to have, we can also target farm some of the specific items that we're looking to build around. This should help us then be able to push corruption faster. We can use the Glyphs of Envy in order to speed this up faster as well, collecting the Shades of Orbis or the Gaze of Orbis to then again push this faster and faster. Remembering to run our cemeteries on our tombs in combination with this Weaver Tree and our prophecies to again continue to farm more and more of these legendary items or these item bases that we're looking for, and again making sure that we're not forgetting about our dungeons, that we're able to combine our legendaries with higher levels of LP into better items using better modifiers found from our ground items and our exalted items. Alright guys, I really hope this helps, and I hope this helps you start smashing the endgame of Last Epoch. If anybody has any questions, don't forget to leave them in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content similar to this coming in the future. Peace.